Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis, and today we're going to be talking about Ripple and XRP. But before we jump on into this video, I just want to ask, how is everybody doing? How's your day going? How's your night going? I want to hear from you guys. Drop down in the comments how you guys are doing. So overall, in regards to the overall markets, we did exactly what I figured we would. Had that nice volatile crash to the bottom, followed by a nice little volatile move to the upside, and now we are coming down to test some nice lows, and we'll most likely break, lower. And I expect lower lows to be put in on Bitcoin eventually. It looks like we're in like an up-down swing. I seen, for example, crypto Twitter go a little bit crazy once we did start to see that little bit of a breakout event. It's funny, right? Like, when you don't see green for so long in this market and you finally do see it, it is a little bit exciting, but I never get excited about these quick pumps because they are usually always scams. And in regards to like the monthly candle close, this 19.8K zone that we basically closed at is completely garbage. I would say that like, liquidity in crypto right now is very rough. Remember, there is one thing that I can warn all of you about right now in this game. If you have disposable income, I want you guys to right now appreciate it, because disposable income among retail investors is at a significant low. And I also want you guys to understand that disposable income is king when we do see, bear markets. So I want you guys to know right now, the best things that you could do to prepare for the inevitable is to pay off all debt that you possibly can, only spend on necessities, and save as much fiat as possible so that you could buy the generational bottoms, especially on XRP. Now, in regards to the overall market, we've been seeing some updates around the future payment landscape as well. In regards to the FedNow service, so I've actually talked to you guys about this FedNow service for a very long time because I do think that it is one of the biggest breadcrumbs to do with XRP, and we're actually going to be talking about it in this video. So here we have, it was 3 days ago. I know I missed it slightly, but we do see Federal Reserve Board announces final timeline and implementation details for adoption of the new FedWire Funds service message format. And we do see down here the final details are broadly similar to the proposal issued last year. This is talking about the ISO 222, message format. It will be adopted on a single day as proposed, last year, rather than in 3 separate phases. The board also provided a new timeline for implementation based on, review of public comments, with the new message format to be adopted on March 10th, 2025, rather than November of 2023, which we have over in this article here, basically saying, November 2023 was the original time frame, but now they are prioritizing this new implementation of the new real-time payment network known as the FedNow service, which is expected to be launched also in 2023, and this is their new real-time gross settlement system owned and operated by the Federal Reserve banks, which enables businesses and financial institutions to transfer funds quickly and securely, and it is going to have greater interoperability as well. So this is also pretty interesting. We do see the FedWire Fund Service competes with CHIPS, another clearing and settling system developed by the clearinghouse, which is also implementing the new message format as well. And I definitely do think that this is very interesting. And we do see down here the Fed in a 2021 notice proposed that reserve banks adopted the ISO 222 message format in one single day around November 2023. But now it is moved to March 10th, 2025. They will also introduce testing environments ahead of this date for depository institutions to, depository institutions, not depository, institutions to conduct coordinated testing to confirm their ability to send and receive ISO 2022 messages among each other. Now, when we look at this, okay, so I've shared with you guys multiple times why this is something to focus on in regards to XRP. I've mentioned it time and time again. When we look at real-time payments and real-time settlement, they are mentioning this around domestic and cross-border payments in general, and it takes me back to Volante Tech as well. Every single time, I do think that Volante is probably one of the biggest breadcrumbs with XRP, And the reason why is because of what they are focused on. And this goes back to March 2nd of this year. I shared with you guys this article before. Volante Technologies launches first unified service for FedNow and TCH RTP. Again, they are already working with not only the FedNow, but they're also working with the clearinghouse as well. And, when we look at real-time payments, this is all focused on real-time payments, and they are working already with two of the largest names around payment settlement. I really do think that when we look at Volante and we look at XRP, they're most likely going to be utilizing, first off, when we look at anybody who's utilizing Volante, they're most likely going to be utilizing Ripple with XRP as, real-time payments. And we could speculate on that, but to me personally, there's enough data to actually back this, simply because, first off, we go back to February 1st of 2021, where Volante, announced saying, proud to be leading the way in implementing the Federal Reserve upcoming instant payment offering FedNow service as a pilot participant. And since then, like I said, they have confirmed that they are already working with them, and this is their first unified service for not only the FedNow service, but also the clearinghouse real-time payments. And when we look at the image revolved around Volante with Ripple, this is their real-time settlement, their basically instant settlement payment mechanism. And I've always said, there's nothing out there that could do instant settlement the way Ripple can. Remember that, sourcing liquidity method is a lot larger than most actually expect it to be. And I do think that we're seeing a clear timeline being placed here in regards to not only adoption of the new real-time gross payment settlement system, but also we're seeing a new system based around, crypto. Now, we also did see, along with all of this, an announcement from the BIS saying that they are going to allow banks to keep 1% of reserves in cryptocurrency. To me, I see a large path going forward, and that the ending of that path is basically adopting in a full-on crypto, settlement system. And it does start with XRP. And I'm not being biased here at all. XRP is not my only holding at all. I do think that when we look at the technology stack here in regards to settlement and real-time payments, RippleNet is great, for real-time payments. It is. You don't need XRP for a large amount of the efficiencies to be met. The thing is that you do not see the instant settlement, without XRP, because XRP is the liquidity source. You need a liquidity source in order to have a settlement to actually happen. That's why when we look at pre-approved payments around a debit or credit card, or even utilizing a bank account, it's in a pre-approved status because it's sourcing liquidity at a SWIFT. That's why it's very inefficient. So if you could source that liquidity in a real-time fashion, aka on demand, utilizing XRP, it becomes a real-time gross settlement payment mechanism. This is what we are focused on right now. And I do think that the BIS is also preparing for the inevitable around cryptocurrencies as they do continue to gain traction. And again, when we look at crypto crashing, remember, this is an asset class that has proven itself year over year and cycle after cycle that it will bounce back. And there is going to be strong fundamental, projects that do bounce back, but then there's going to be ones that do get, sent to the dungeon, if you will, that will never, bounce back. And you got to really kind of pick your winners and losers safely. So again, to me, XRP will always be here. I mean, when we really kind of look at XRP, it's still in the top 10, even with an SEC lawsuit and being mass delisted. So again, you do you. But in regards to, crypto and where we basically are headed, I do think that this is a great way to look at it. And shout out to Digital Asset Investor for this. But we do see crossing the chasm, or chasm, if you will, on the current crypto market. I believe Ripple and XRP are crossing it. And here we have this video. Listen closely to this.
Are we about to break into the mainstream? Where are we in terms of cryptocurrencies and the kind of the chat around it right now? Jeremy, where would you want to start?
Yeah, I mean, there's this concept of a technology adoption life cycle curve, right? And you've seen these charts, right? How long does it take for a new technology to reach a billion?
We were just talking about that, yeah,
or what have you, and there's also this concept of a kind of, it's like a bell curve, right? You have the early adopters, then you have what you call the chasm, which is like if a technology can cross the chasm from that early adopter to the what's called the early majority, that's where you get the like super steep growth. So I think we're like standing right on the precipice of the chasm. There's some things falling in the chasm, and that's going to happen. But there's going to be some things that get across the chasm and that are going to get to 1 billion people. And I think we're probably going to see that over the next couple of years. And so I think what you see here with certainly firms like ours and the amount of capital and intellectual property development and others is very much the foundations for that early majority. And people estimate 100 to 200 million people in the world. That might be low, but some number of people who are have access to or used crypto in some way, that's still pretty small. And so we need to get to like 1 billion people who are using this, and eventually they'll be using it. They won't even know that they're using it, just like you don't know what protocols you're using when you interact with Google. And so I think that's kind of where I think we are.
And yeah, I mean, like when we really kind of look at this, I love the fact that he is mentioning, the idea of like people utilizing it without even knowing that they're utilizing it. To me, like Ripple and XRP, well, I should say just like XRP itself, is basically that asset. And like when you look at the chasm, like, yeah, sure, are we in the early adopter stage still? Like we could still be around like this point back here. But when we really even look at this, we still have that major steep growth, pattern ahead of us. And I do think that like this is the moment in time where you do really want to be positioned in this market. It's something special to be in this market right now, especially as like we do, continue to grow, continue to expand, and you can definitely see where we are headed when you do see like, names like the BIS, for example, starting to accept crypto. Like these are the individuals that are at the forefront of the payment, infrastructure that we run on. So again, you could really definitely see where we are, at currently within this market. And do I think that Ripple and XRP are crossing this? It's hard to say. I mean, like it all depends on how you want to look at it. Like to me, XRP will most likely be utilized by everyone without even knowing that they're utilizing it. Because again, this is technology that is extremely hard to describe to the typical individual. I mean, again, I really want you guys to, find somebody who doesn't even know about crypto and then explain to them how XRP works. They'll say, we already have digital technology within payments. A lot of people think that like just because their banking is online or they could swipe a credit card or a debit card and pay their bills on a app that we're in a digital age. Again, trying to describe the fact that like XRP is solving not only a global liquidity crisis, but also ushering us into a digital age of sourcing liquidity on demand to not have pre-approved payments anymore and basically unlock $27 trillion. It's very hard to describe to somebody because, again, trying to get that point across, a lot of individuals are very level-headed on, what they really kind of look at in regards to technology stacks around payments. But also, you got to remember that crypto for the longest time has always been labeled a scam. So to most people, they don't really look at crypto as like a life-changing generational moment. So that's why, like I say, like if you are in this market right now and you have residual income or disposable income at your, grasp, definitely be appreciative of that because a lot of people do not have disposable income right now, and it's very hard for individuals to actually jump into this game and invest in technologies like XRP. So if you guys do have disposable income and you are seeing this generational bottom essentially being printed in, by the way, we are still dropping on Bitcoin. This is the moment in time to definitely, look back on, where you were, say for so a year ago in this market, or even 2 years ago in this market. Even look back to like March of 2020, right? How many people during 2021 said, wow, I wish I can go back to March of 2020 and buy that dip again? Again, we will see prices like that yet again in this market. I do believe that we'll most likely see 16.7K on Bitcoin, which is the 300 weekly moving average similar to March of 2020. We might even come down lower, but I'm definitely, preparing. I have fiat on the sidelines. I'm prepared right now. I am in stables for the most part as well. So with that in mind, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day or beautiful night wherever you guys are on this beautiful world. It's been Nick. Peace out, guys.